Good morning and welcome to beautiful Lacoste Park in Tecumseh, Ontario, the site of the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships here on WeTV. Hello everybody, my name is Dominic Papa. Joining us on our broadcast this morning, the longtime baseball man for OCAA Baseball, Laurie Cahill. Helping us out here this morning, Laurie, and what a gorgeous day we have for baseball here.
It looks like a fantastic weekend to settle the championship, so those excuses are out the door right now. And we're blessed with that, and also the best four teams now, the final four of the baseball season, are here to compete for the title, and certainly some great talent, and it's going to be some really exciting baseball this weekend. Yeah,
we're certainly looking forward to it and glad to be part of it. Those four teams that Laurie just mentioned, the St. Clair College Saints, the host team, they finished first in the OCAA standings this season. The Humber Hawks, number 2, the number 3 team, the Durham Lords, and of course the number 4 team, the Fanshawe Falcons. Our first game this morning features the Humber Hawks and the Durham Lords, and Laurie, both these teams come in as the hottest teams in the OCAA baseball loop. The Durham Lords going 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Humber Hawks 9-1 in their last 10. Teams are meeting at a perfect time.
Yes, they played 4 times during the regular season, and 3 of those games were decided by 1 run. So really, you can expect a very close game in this first game, and 2 very evenly matched teams with very good pitching, which will dominate probably the first game.
All right. St. Clair College Saints have dominated this tournament the last 4 years, Laurie, winning it. But this year, they're being pushed, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, they can. But again, there's some pedigree there, and they are in their home field, which does pay a dividend in a lot of ways. So I know that the home cooking always tends to help at one point in time. So St. Clair's the defending champion until somebody proves different, and that'll have to be this weekend if anybody's good enough to do it.
All right, well, this is the first of 4 games today. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow as well for the gold medal and bronze medal games. So a lot of great baseball action this weekend here on we-tv.ca. When we come back after the break, it's the opening pitch, the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships on we-tv.ca.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to Lacoste Park, the site of OCAA baseball here on we-tv.ca. It's the championships. Our first game of 4 today will feature the Humber Hawks and the Durham Lords. My name is Dominic Papa, joined by Laurie Cahill. And as mentioned, Laurie, at the top of our broadcast, I don't think we could have scripted better weather for this event.
Yeah, I'm talking to people from last year's championship. This is quite the quantum leap as far as the weather goes for. And again, one of the things when you have some of the best pitchers, especially throwing the games today, to make sure that teams get off on the right foot, when the weather's a little cooler, you don't get that bat on the right part of the ball, it can leave quite an impression on your hands. So it's nice to have this kind of weather because it gives you a better chance to execute your offense at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. The Humber Hawks are out on the field first, so that means the Durham Lords will come to the plate first. What can you tell us about Humber, Laurie?
Well, Humber had, I believe, 5 All-Stars at the awards banquet last night, and on the mound for the Hawks is the leading ERA pitcher, Stephen Huff, and Stephen had a brilliant record this year. I believe he was 4-1, and he is a pretty traditional pitcher. Both he and his counterpart today, Brody Harkness for the Durham Lords, will feature their fastball as their prime pitch, but they also have good command of breaking balls and changeups. So it should be a game where we see a lot of strikes. They certainly have a lot of offensive prowess and tremendous balance across the lineup for Humber as far as their offensive side goes. So, you know, it's going to be a game where runs need to be executed with the type of pitching we have to start.
What's key into a championship like this, Laurie? I mean, it's such a short, compact tournament. Obviously, having the arms in place to you know, the pitching staff has to be deep. As we take a look at Stephen Huff's numbers this year, 5 games, 4-1 this season, an outstanding ERA, and a pretty good strikes and walks ratio for the season. We're going to get right to the broadcast. We'll get more into Laurie and what he thinks about this championship, but the Durham Lords up to bat first. At the plate is number 1, Brian Woke of the Durham Lords. Brian from Oshawa, Ontario, so he's playing in his hometown. That first one fouled off. A short infield pop-up, that'll be handled by the shortstop of the Humber Hawks.
Right fielder, number 20, Connor May.
As you see that in the first batter of the game, that they know that Stephen's going to be around the plate, so they're going up there prepared to start to swing right from the get-go. So you know, it should be a pretty it could be a quick game because again the ball's always going to be around the plate.
This is Connor May at the plate for the Durham Lords. Takes a strike. Huff now gets up 0-2 on.
Yeah, that was an excellent curveball there.
That pitch in the dirt.
It's interesting, the outfield's shaded around to right, so they're playing Connor to pull the ball.
Strike 3, Huff. A nice job there, a nice sequence of pitches there, Laurie.
Very efficient 2 batters for Stephen, and certainly no surprise to get started.
Second baseman, number 9, Logan Stewart.
So just like that, the Humber Hawks pitcher has done a good job of getting the first 2 batters. Stepping up to the plate now is number 9, Logan Stewart.
Logan's at second base today. He's Durham's All-Star. Had a very great year at the plate.
Tell you what, Huff is on fire to start this game, Laurie.
Yeah, he's certainly living up to what his stats would show. These pitchers can throw somewhere in the neighborhood of 85 miles an hour, so you know they can bring it pretty good. There's a well-struck ball.
Pop up out to right field. That's handled easily, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Hawks as they come to the bat, to the plate, and the Durham Lords take to the field. Just want to give a quick shout out to the St. Clair College Athletic Department, Teddy Beal, Christy Gatto, Jay Schufelt, of course Ron Segan, making us feel certainly at home with this event and bringing WeTV on board. So we're certainly appreciative of that. And again, this is the first of 6, possibly 7 games, Laurie.
Well, yeah, so that's right. It is the your goal is to at the conclusion of Saturday not have lost 2 games, and if you can accomplish that, you're going to declare yourself the champion. So It's the double knockout format does give you a little bit of wiggle room as far as sort of having one bad game, if you will, but certainly it does put a lot more pressure on your pitching staff if you have to throw extra games to get to that destination. So,
starting pitcher for the Durham Lords, Brody Harkness, number 21, appeared in 4 games. Or actually, it should be 5. Actually, a win-loss record of 4-1. Another excellent ERA.
Brody was the OCAA Pitcher of the Year, named last night at the awards banquet, and again had an outstanding season through a no-hitter this year. And he's again a power pitcher for the most part, but has a good command of his breaking pitch and his changeup. So again, another person we expect to be around the plate. We've made some nice improvements here to Lacasse Park, and it's a great facility for our championship to be played. It's about 320 down the lines and left, and again, ample room in the outfield to go get it. So.
Take the key out. Turn the key and take the key out. Here we go, bottom of the first.
Liam Sutherland.
Liam Sutherland steps up to the plate for the Humber Hawks, number 27.
Liam was named OCAA Player of the Year last night at the awards banquet.
It's quite an accomplishment, Laurie, at this level of baseball.
Yeah, and there was some excellent candidates to convey for that award, but Liam stood out amongst the best of the best. Plays center field for the Hawks. Covers a lot of ground out there. Great defensive player.
Bunt attempt. Counts 1-2.
That wasn't a bad play. The corners are kind of back a bit.
Yeah.
That was a good look for a leadoff hitter.
Ground ball. Booted at second base. And our first runner of the game is Liam Sutherland of the Hawks as he makes it to first base. Not handling that ball well was Logan Stewart, number 9, the second baseman of the Lords.
Keegan Murphy.
Keegan Murphy had an outstanding
Take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough chance. I think Logan counted on that ball coming up and he stayed down on him there. Keegan Murphy had a tremendous year at the plate. He led the league in at bats, 73 at bats this year, more than any other player in the OCAA, playing in all 20 games, and sported a .411 average for those 73 at bats.
Check the runner at first base.
As we said in the outset, the last 3 games have pretty much been decided by 1 run between these teams, so
that base right through the infield. And right away, the Hawks come out swinging, have runners at first and second. No outs here in the bottom of the first.
This is always interesting in baseball when you get off to a good start, as we thought that there's often times where you want to manufacture runs, but now when you're in the heart of your order, you get people at the bat who normally wouldn't be expected to bunt or do that. But at the college level, these guys are pretty well versed in doing whatever it takes from a team standpoint.
Another hit for the Hawks, and they've loaded up the bases here. The first 3 batters doing their jobs, getting on base, and the Hawks threatening to open up the scoring here.
Yes, they've been right on Brody's
Designated
fastball.
hitter number 19, Dennis Banning.
Dennis Day Banning at the plate now for the Hawks with runners in scoring position. Bases loaded. That one Going right, stays in fair play. The Hawks will score at least one here. Second runner comes around, and Banning does his job with a double, bringing in 2 runs for the Hawks.
That was again a great placed ball down the right field line. The right fielder had to run a long way to try and get that, but wasn't fortunate enough to do that. As I said, they're certainly coming out to play that the ball's going to be in a spot to take swings out right off the get-go from coming off Brody. So he's going to probably have to start to mix his pitches.
Andrew Thompson.
Andrew Thompson steps up to the plate. He has runners at second and third. 2-0. The Hawks have jumped out to the lead here. No outs yet.
Humber's drawing the infield in to try and cut down on any other runs possibly if they can. That was a very good pitch by Brody to change the pace on there. They've been really sitting on his fastball. And another nice job of changing his pace, showing the whole team some other pitches to maybe think about when they get up there. So
Right fielder number 11.
That's a huge strikeout.
Yeah, that would be. Durham would be very fortunate to get out of this inning, only giving up those 2 runs.
Brody Harkness trying to pitch himself out of a little bit of a jam here. Brandon Costa up to the plate now for the Hawks, number 11.
Although Stephen Huff didn't have any problem, most of the really good pitchers, they will say they hope to get him in the first inning, and certainly Humber's taking the advantage of getting their spots on the board first.
That one fouled back. Oh, and 2 the count. There's Harkness trying to keep the Hawks from further damage here. That pitch low in the dirt.
Good idea. Yeah, I think I'd like to see Brody try to work on maybe a little bit more on the outside of the plate. Work on the corner a bit more. Ooh, that
one a little low inside.
And that's always the interesting part when you get to a championship like this, because you really got to try and find where the umpire's strike zone is. And in a situation like this, there's not a lot of room for experimentation.
Nice pitch there by Harkness. Fools the Humber Hawk batter.
Brody's made a nice adjustment on those 2. So again, it'll be very, very fortuitous for the Lords to get out of this with just the 2 runs in.
Certainly would be huge damage control. This is Max Ellefson up at the plate for Humber, number 30.
Max is named the OCAA Rookie of the Year. He hails from Minnesota.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I was studying the roster and didn't realize we had some American players.
Nicely done. Yeah, it's most times it's going the other way, Don. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, it's very unusual to see that, but it seems like he's found a good home there, and Etobicoke.
Ellefson fouls that pitch off. Got to give Harkness credit here, Laurie. He's really bounced back after giving up 4 straight hits.
Yeah,
he's settled down, and the last 2 batters, he's taken out the last 2 batters, and he's up 0-2 here.
And it's a championship. The adrenaline's going, and he was maybe just overthrowing a bit and leaning on that fastball to get him past the first little bit of the first inning. But the Hawks sure were sitting on that and made good contact. That was a pretty good looking pitch. Max has done a good job at this at bat, working the count, and he doesn't want to put another runner on base.
There's a ground ball. This one easily handled, and Durham does get out of a jam there. They only give up the 2 runs, Laurie. I think that's kind of like a a small victory, if anything.
Well, that's for sure, again, but when you know that they're both under 2 runs a game, 2 runs seems like a lot.
All right, going to take a quick time out here at Lacrosse Park. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage of the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships on WeTV.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to the OCAA Baseball Championships. Top of the second inning, Ryan Bothwell, number 16 of the Durham Lords, at the plate. His team down 2-0 as the Humber Hawks score 2 runs in the first inning to take that lead.
Ryan's playing third base today. He's a very versatile player for the Lords. Ryan had a solid .389 average over the season with 17 RBIs. And that was a solid single to center by Ryan.
So Durham now looking to get at least even here with the Humber Hawks. A slow start for the Lords, but they show good signs of bouncing back.
Alec Brown's playing first base today. He's also pitched, and he actually pitched a shutout against Humber in the very first game of the season. So he's very accomplished at being in the field or on the mound. Normally it would be interesting because in a game like this that fashions such great pitching, normally you'd be able, like, to see Alex looked like he was going to try and bunt to manufacture a run, but being down 2 runs, you don't want to give up too many outs in a 7-inning game.
Huff gets Brown to swing and miss there. Count stands at 1-1.
Stevens bringing it. I think Alec could have done a little better job by putting that down. It's you got to make yourself commit. You either want to bunt for a sacrifice or bunt for a hit, and I was sort of in between. Not a very big lead at first. Good, spoiled that one. It would be imperative for Durham to respond in some capacity to make, even if they get some runners in position, to make Stephen work. It's also fascinating when when a pitcher gets runners on base, it changes their delivery and their timing a bit. So pitching from the stretch creates a little bit of a change for the pitcher, a little less comfort.
Here's the 1-2 pitch coming from Huff. A little inside there.
You can see just with that little bit of having to pitch from the stretch how his motion to the plate is a little bit, and he's not quite finishing that. That was a very good take by Alec.
Huff just misses the corner there. Count now at 3-2. Man on first for the Lords. 2-0. The Hawks leading it here at the top of the second.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the coaching staff sends the runner. Good spoil. Good spoil.
Brown got a piece of that.
That was probably Stevens' best hit of the day on that one, so that was good spoil.
Here's the 3-2 pitch again.
Nice pitch.
Huff paints the corner there.
Yeah, he sure did. Yep.
What a great pitch.
That was a tough one. You're a batter and you get
Center fielder number 27, Dryden Norton.
When you get a pitch like that, you know it's going to be almost impossible to hit, so you have to take, even though it's in that spot. But that was a good at bat by Alec. He spoiled some good pitches, and
Huff comes out, throwing strikes again. Pop fly, short pop fly off.
Dryden Norton.
No problem for the Hawks to handle that at second base.
Designated hitter number 8, Eric Bahari.
Takes care of that. 2 outs now.
So we've got DH Eric Bahari up at the plate, 375 average this year. And as a DH, we hope for the Lord's sake he can make some good contact.
That one goes for a strike. There's Bahari, strong young man. Right away, Huff gets up 0-2 on the account.
Seems to have made the adjustment coming from the stretch now, so he's
that ball handled, throw to second, and safe. Just getting under the tag.
That's pretty unusual for Mr. Mara, the catcher. He played the whole season this year without making an error, and that wasn't classified as an error. It could have been a wild pitch or a pass ball, depending on the score. But Durham's got a chance now to play to run. It would be very timely for them to answer.
Ryan Bathwell standing at second for the Lords. Count now even at 2-2. 2 outs. Top of the second here.
And the outfield shaded more towards right, so they're not playing Bahari to pull the ball on Huff.
Bahari fouls that pitch off. Look at Bothwell on second. Looping curveball there, a little high. Full count.
Well, this is what you like to have if you're a hitter. Your DH should get a fastball on this pitch.
Indeed he did. A line shot right to third. And the Hawks defense holds up. Spearing that ball was Ty Martin, the third baseman.
Yep, that was... The Lords did a better job offensively making it work that inning, but they still don't have anything to show for their efforts so far.
So, top of the second ends with 1 man left on base. The score after 1.5 is the Humber Hawks 2, the Durham Lords no score. Just a reminder for our viewers, we'll have complete coverage of the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships Our next telecast will start in and around 1:30, depending on how things unfold here.
Yes.
No time frames here for baseball, which is okay. But it'll be the Fanshawe Falcons taking on the host St. Clair College Saints. 1:30 is the approximate scheduled time of that game. We'll have it for you live, and then it gets really interesting because we talked about the double knockout system here, Laurie. The loser of this game will play the loser of game 2, and whichever team obviously loses that, their season is done. So.
Yes, yes. So, and then the winner from that loser bracket will go on for the bronze game next on Saturday morning. One of the things that does make the championship a little more timely is the fact that the OCAA utilizes the international rule for breaking a tie at the end of 7 innings, and that's where after 7 innings of play, if the game's still tied, the team at bat will start that inning with runners on first and second and 1 out, and that's to sort of expedite the process as far as getting some conclusion.
Bottom of the second for the Humber Hawks.
Bottom of the second set to go here. Stepping up to the plate, Ty Martin, who just made that solid play at third base to end the inning for the Durham Lords, steps up to this plate, his first at bat. His team up 2-0, 2 first inning runs, staking them to that lead.
Ty only appeared in 7 games, but he got a .300 average for the Hawks. Ty's in his second year of sports management at Humber, a very popular program, especially for people who have a athletic pedigree, so to speak.
One way to stay in sports, right?
That's for sure.
That pitch fouled off. It's always interesting here, Laurie, with games, because this park, LaCoste Park, of course. I love the old school facility they have here, but it's right in basically a neighborhood. And the houses here, there was one gentleman, we were covering some games earlier this summer, this one gentleman had a full pail of foul balls that have landed in his front yard.
Well, as long as they've landed in his yard and not gone through his window, that's the main thing.
But just saw one go that way there, that last foul there, but interesting. Martin thrown out at first there, so 1 out charged here against the Hawks. At the plate, number 2, Stephen Andropoulos, his second trip, as we see the end of that play there. Andropoulos fouls one off right towards the house again. He may have another collection after this tournament's done.
Stephen was also named an OCAA All-Star at the awards banquet last night for the Humber.
Humber, another great season of baseball, obviously, finishing second behind the St. Clair College Saints. I talked to Dave Cooper last week. Actually, I do a radio show here, Laurie, and had Dave on our radio show talking about the tournament. And, while he respects all the teams, the one team I think that he really does worry about is this Humber squad.
Well, they've again they were right there at St. Clair's heels, and they were one of the hottest teams in the league at the end of the season. Excellent pitch by Brody.
Brody seems to have settled down since that first inning, which is a good sign if you're the Durham Lords crew.
Center fielder, number 27.
Yeah, I think I alluded to earlier, sometimes those very, very good pitchers, you got to get to them early. Once they settle in, and Brody made an excellent adjustment there, going to more breaking balls and not so many fastballs. He's establishing his first pitch strikes like he did there, and he's also now giving them something else to think about so they can't just sit on that pitch.
Ian Sutherland at the plate for the Hawks now. Foul ball as he shows the bunt again. Oh, and 2 is the count. 1 and 2 now. As that pitch goes into the dirt. Two outs here in the bottom of the second. That one
That
pulled foul.
just missed. That just missed. It's the advantage of having extra umpires on the line here for the championship.
Yep. Usually it's a two-man system, Laurie.
Yes. I think in league play, I think they do use 3 actually, but I know that sometimes just in season there's fewer umpires to cover all the games that are being played. So this is a timely opportunity for adding extra officials where they can.
The 1-2 pitch. Third base, scooped up, long throw to first, held on nicely, and the Lords bounce back, and 1-2-3 inning for that team as they hold Humber off the base pass that time around. We go to the top of the third with the Humber Hawks leading at 2-0. A timeout here at Lacoste Park. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage of the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
The catcher, number 24, Braden Weir.
Welcome back to the OCAA Baseball Championships here on We-TV. Dominic Popper along with Laurie Cahill. Top of the third inning, the Durham Lords and the Humber Hawks. Game 1 of this OCAA Baseball Championship. At the plate for the Lords to start this third inning, number 24, Brandon Weir. Takes the first pitch and fouls it off. Humber leading it. Humber leading 2-0.
Let's see if they can get the first batter on again this inning and get something started.
One and two.
Steven's doing a nice job. That good pitch working both sides of the plate.
Huff's been very effective right from the get-go of this contest. That one popped up. Center field area. One out as
that was good.
Weir is retired.
Very good defensive positioning there, the outfielder. Well, he had to go back, didn't have to move over very much. As I say, they're with Stevens' capacity to be able to throw the ball pretty good. They're shading more towards right field, so they don't expect anybody to be able to pull in there. He was positioned perfectly on that play.
That one fouled sharply down the left field. This is Spencer Edwards at the plate, number 2. This one, a grounder to the shortstop. A high throw, that's going to be an error, and to first base is Edwards.
I want to say that, you know what, I think he would have beat that one out. He really got down the line well, and I think that's why the shortstop airmailed that, because he got a little quick seeing where the guy was in relation to the bag. So I actually think he would have beat that out, but it definitely made it a moot point when he threw the ball over the first baseman's head there. But Durham's got some life now. Let's see if they can take advantage this inning.
Well, they put a runner on in the second inning. They couldn't move him. They got him to second, but couldn't move him. Let's see what they can do here. They do have one out right now. Man on first. A bunt here down the first baseline. That's going to get the runner over, and Huff tosses the first. 2 outs now to the Lords, but they did advance the runner to scoring position.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and scrap this out, and Connor May's coming up, so hopefully he'll be able to plate the runner.
Connor May.
Connor May.
Connor hit over 300 for the year, so he's got the capability of plating this run.
Fouls that pitch off. 0-1 is our count.
Connor's another hometown product from Oshawa, and when you look down the lineup, they certainly have stayed close to home in the Durham lineup.
Yeah,
you see where they're recruited and drawn players from.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about their lineup, very close to home. Great that they could have a baseball program like this available to them.
Well, Durham is the founding program for baseball in the OCAA. They were in right from the get-go in 1995 when they established the Canadian Intercollegiate Baseball Association.
Outstanding pitch there by Huff.
Yeah, changed speed a little bit on that one, and Connor was just out in front of it.
1-2 is the count now. Huff has been really impressive so far, Laurie.
Yes, that was an excellent pitch. That was an excellent. He wanted that one. That was a good. Connor did great to take that one. A bit of a fastball count here.
First base, booted for a second, but a good hustle there by Huff.
Yep.
That will retire the Lords again. They again leave a man stranded. As we go to the bottom of the second, or bottom of the third, I should say, the Humber Hawks continue to lead it 2-0 over the Durham Lords. I keep talking about Huff, the pitcher here, Laurie, but I'm really impressed with what I see in his game so far here.
Well, again, that was a fundamental there, but again, Stephen got over and covered first, and Max Ellefson stayed on the ball and gave him a chance to complete the play. So good coverage by Stephen getting over there and doing what pitchers are expected to do on a play like that.
I was trying to ask you earlier, Laurie, in a tournament like this, it's such a compact time frame. Everything is so monumental in each game. What is the key? Is there a secret formula to win this thing?
Well, again, certainly Humber has got the right formula to start because they got off to an early start, got 2 runs on the board in the first inning, and they've got the best pitcher, ERA pitcher in the league. So if there's a success, it's doing that. You'll see that the Durham now, the pressure's on Durham to try and maybe do a little bit more when they know that they're behind in the game. And again, with a 7-inning game, it does change the logistic of it. You only get so many at-bats. I mean, in principle, Durham's got 12 more outs, so it's not impossible, but it does start to shrink and start to play in your mind, especially when you're facing a good pitcher. So, yeah, I mean, and winning the first game is important because, again, it means that, you're one less game that you have to play to get to the final goal and destination. So it's a good formula for success. And it's harder at this year, as we see in professional baseball. Pitching usually dominates at this time of year as opposed to hitting, so every run you can get is really a premium.
Yeah, just ask the Chicago Cubs, right?
Yeah, well, and the Astros the last few games too.
Well, we'll see though. The Yankees, I got to give them credit, boy. Talk about a team that nobody was counting on getting this far even.
Well, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, St. Clair's been the annual pennant winner and champion in the OCAA, but Fanshawe College won the national championship. So it just shows if you're here, you have a chance.
Yep, that's all you want to do is give yourself a chance, right? This is number 23 at the plate for the Humber Hawks, Keegan Murphy, starting the bottom of the third of the inning. 0-1 the count. The Hawks leading it 2-0.
Keegan's an excellent hitter.
Pitch a little high outside. You're watching the Bel Air Direct 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships on we-tv.ca. Our first of 4 games here today. That pop-up staying in play, and if drops it, So Murphy makes it to first base. Tough catch, no doubt about it, but
I think at the very last minute when Logan looked up to try and make that play on that ball, it was looking right in the sun, and I don't know if I can't see if he's got any specs on there. At the last minute, it just disappeared right up into the sun.
he may
They
have
just
lost
got
it
the
in the
angle.
sun.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Laurie, because it is bright and sunny here today.
Yeah, it's just a bad angle at the last minute, and it was his play, though, that's for sure, on that angle.
They score that an error. So an error charged to the Durham second baseman.
That was a play you hoped he would have made, and Brody's got some work cut out for him now because he's got the 3, 4, 5 coming up in the lineup. Good pitch. Good change of pace by Brody. I don't expect the Hawks to try and run here. They're going to try and add to their total and probably swing away, trying to advance and score some more runs.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. This one, a short pop-up, playable, and 1 out against the Hawks, and staying at first is Keegan Murphy, number 23.
Number 19, Dennis Dybening.
Justin
Designated hitter, Dennis Dybening, up at the plate now.
Justin was trying to go the other way with that pitch. He saw something he liked out there, but he just got under it a bit. Dennis had the big hit in the first inning, a 2-run double.
Foul ball at first pitch, 0-1.
Dennis seems to be behind on that a little bit, but he paid a dividend on that first at bat, that's for sure.
That one, slow roller to third. This is going to be a tough play. Safe as he runs it out. Throw to second, safe. Good heads-up play by the first baseman of the Lords to go to second base.
The job market has changed, and I have to.
Right back.
That was very close at second, a real heads-up play by the first baseman.
Slow roller down third base there.
Andrew Thompson.
Yeah,
Good throw to first, but not in time.
Third baseman, that was a long way for him to come and make that play, and Dennis hustled that out very well to beat it out at first. And the Hawks are in business.
Yes, they are. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Andrew Thompson steps up to the plate. Fouls one off to the third baseline. That goes foul.
Andrew played in 14 games and he had a 486 batting average, so he's very capable of producing some more runs in this situation.
That pitch high, evens out the count to 1-1.
Well, the Lords would certainly love to see a ball on the ground, a chance to turn 2 and get out of here. That's a
line shot, that's a base hit. Runners being waved in to score. Here's the play at the plate. Ball is bobbled. 3-0 Hawks.
That was a tough chance right at the as it came up for the catcher. Looks like
Keegan Murphy's shaken up. He's holding his wrist area as he came in sliding. Hopefully nothing too serious there, but he does score a run for his team, makes it 3-0. Runners advance to first and third now.
that was a solid knock, and it was a tough, little bit of an in-between hop for the catcher, looking out of the corner of his eye to see the runner so close. So it was a bang-bang play, and he just couldn't come up with it. But it was a solid knock to score the run. Or Durham's in very much danger right here of the game slipping away, because it's got the potential for a big inning here for the Hawks.
Moving to second and thrown out is
Nice
Andrew
toss.
Thompson.
Good tag at second base. It's interesting that Humber put the pressure on him there by doing that. But again, quite often your teams are reluctant to throw down on that play with worrying about the runner coming in from third base. So it was a good execution by Durham. It's certainly a huge out for him now.
2 outs.
Chance to get out of the inning. So
Our count here to Brandon Costa, number 11. The Humber batter is 0-2 right now. That one goes for a ball.
yeah, the Lords, by virtue of the fact that they finished behind in the standings, it doesn't behoove them to get too far behind Humber. But that was a good finish, and didn't get any more damage off of that inning.
The Hawks do manage to squeeze out 1 run, though. They now have a 3-0 lead after 3 complete innings. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage of the Bel Air Direct OCAA Baseball Championships from Tecumseh, Ontario.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Welcome back to the OCAA Baseball Championships here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with Lori Cahill. The Humber Hawks and Durham Lords doing battle in game 1. Top of the 4th inning at the plate for the Durham Lords. Number 9, Logan Stewart, his team down 3-0 to start this inning. That pitch goes in for a ball. 1-0 our count.
Logan's, again, is Durham's All-Star this year and probably their best all-around player. He's had a little bit of a tough day in the field so far, but he could certainly get his team on the right side with a knock to start the inning off and get them in position to score.
1-1 the count now after that swing and miss. That one goes high. That's a ball.
I expect Stephen to come after him now. He's been trying to be a little careful, respecting Logan. That was an excellent change-up. Yeah,
I'm just really impressed with Huff here, Lori. This is the first time I've been able to watch him. I'm sure you've watched him during the season, but he is having an impressive outing here.
He just showed Logan is the bottom end of his pitching. He's bottom from the standpoint of featuring the fastball, and he just threw him a changeup and a curve to punch him out there. So again, that was a very impressive display for possibly the best hitter on Durham's lineup.
Ryan Bothwell.
Ryan Bothwell steps up to the plate for the Lords.
Ryan's excellent. He's a very versatile player and a hard-working player, and is very well-rounded. He's got great offensive stats, very balanced, and a great asset for the Lords lineup.
1-1 count now.
So say, and that was a good
For a
take.
ball inside.
The danger again is that you're starting to press. You know you're down 3 runs and you're running out of outs. You still got to stay patient, and as we say, dance with who brung you. Meaning just do what you can within yourself and don't try to do too much at the plate just to get your team started.
2-2 the count. Bothwell trying to get something going here for the Lords. Here in the top of the 4th. That pitch in the dirt. Full count.
Stevens mixing those pitches very well. I think Justin Morrow's calling a great game for him.
That one pulled foul.
Well, they've been able to get around in his fastball, okay, because they pulled some balls foul, so it's not like he's completely overpowering them, but they are trying to be a little bit guarded about that changeup.
Slow grounder.
Whoops.
To the second baseman, he bobbles it. And once again, the Lords get a runner on base.
There was just a titch of confusion because Max Ellison broke for the ball. And initially, they weren't sure of who was going to get it. And then when the second baseman came over, he took a peek to see who was actually going to be covering first. And that was at the time he probably would have been looking to catch it. So it was a bit of an odd play, well-placed ball, and a good opportunity for Durham to get something started.
Alec Brown up to the plate now for the Lords. 1 out. Takes a strike there.
Alex made a great defensive play on a scoop earlier from a throw from Ryan at first base. There's a solid single.
That'll get the runners moving.
That was very close.
Very close play at second.
Yeah, I think Ryan would have been well advised to slide on that play, but again, he knows his game. So, but that was a good solid knock by Alec, and now got something cooking here.
Runners at first and second, as Laurie just mentioned. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The Lords trying to get back into this one.
Let's see if Stevens starts to mix that pitch a little bit. That was a fastball, and here's another one.
Oh, what a great play at first. Huff hustles over.
That was a tremendous play.
Second out. Yeah, a tremendous play there by the first baseman, Max Ellison. Probably saved a run there, Laurie.
Yeah, it would have been close, but certainly, again, OCAA Rookie of the Year, and showed why. He's third in fielding percentage in the league this year, and showed why in that play sequence, because that if it hadn't played to the run, it'd certainly have your DH coming up now with bases loaded, so that would have been a great offensive opportunity, but that sort of cut that down. But the Lords are still cooking. They got 2 in scoring position here, and
2 outs though.
Yeah. Last time Eric hit a line shot down to third. Maybe you can get one in between the hole there. Good pitch.
Nice pitch by Huff. Yep.
Yeah, Steven changed them up there, but that was a good look. First pitch look for Eric.
Strike 1 to the designated hitter, number 8, Eric Bahari.
He brought that one.
Sure
did. Probably one of his 2 best fastballs so far I've seen today, and he didn't waste anything on that one. So now he's got Eric at a bit of a disadvantage, 0-2, and he doesn't know really what pitch he's going to throw. And that was a brilliant.
That one goes low outside. 1-2 the count.
As I mentioned earlier, as a hitter, you have to take that because you can't hit it. I think Eric was leaning towards looking for something else there, and Steven almost got the fastball by him.
Curveball goes wide. That evens the count at 2-2. 2 outs.
He didn't believe the umpire on that last call, so he put one in the same spot. But
does anybody ever believe the umpires, Laurie?
Well,
come on.
Hey, they're family.
Yeah.
You know what? Huff was unrelenting. He just kept working that outside corner, and finally got it to a spot that the umpire liked, and Eric didn't. So unfortunately, that choked off that rally.
Huff is very impressive. That's all I can say. He is full value here so far today. Our score after 3.5 innings, it's the Humber Hawks 3, the Durham Lords 0. Again, our next broadcast, or our next game here at the OCA Baseball Championships. Again, we're thinking around 1:30 or so.
Yeah.
It'll be the Fanshawe Falcons taking on the St. Clair College Saints.
And I think the next game, the scores between the Saints and the Falcons through the years have shown that they can produce a bit of offense and some runs. So I think that it could be a little more exciting game for their fans to watch as far as offense goes. And a beautiful day here to do it. Again, the Falcons are the defending national champions, having won that last year.
Now, the national champions, Lori, if I remember correctly, features OCA teams, but as well as OUA teams, and
there used to be, there was a intermix with the OUA,
okay.
but certainly not the same that I'm aware of anymore. It's
Okay.
certainly just more of a college mix to those particular teams that play, but it's still a work in progress. Again, this is while we've had, as I mentioned, Durham was one of the founding teams in the Canadian Intercollegiate Baseball Association back in 1995. It's taken that much time to try and grow the sport. One of the complexities for the OCA with fall programs is that it's a very compact season, and trying to make something meaningful out of it and making the season meaningful, and then trying to add a championship on with the weather is always a complex. We're blessed
Absolutely.
This weekend, but it's tough every other year.
Yeah, no, I get it. I believe it's a 20-game schedule, correct?
Yes.
And that's tough to fit in when you start in September and you have October, and then you're dead on with your point about the weather. I mean, we have just been blessed here this weekend. They're calling for outstanding weather today, and we've got it. And tomorrow they're saying the same thing. So, but usually when you get into mid to late October, it's hit and miss. You don't know what you're going to get from day to day.
That's a tough play. Put that in a good spot, but nice play going over to get that. That was Max Ellison leading off, who made a fine defensive play in the last inning to cut off part of the Durham rally.
1 out. As the bottom of the fourth inning underway here, the Hawks.
That was Brian Woke went over and made a nice play over there behind third base, picking up that fly ball.
Ty Martin steps up to the plate, number 26. Fouls off the first pitch.
That's going to be a tough one down the line.
That might make it in, and it does. It's a fair ball. Martin gets the first, and he holds up.
That was almost in the same direction as Max hit his first at bat there. So Durham's lucky they were able to cut down the damage on that one. But again, for Brody, he's figuring he could have had a couple outs there. They weren't well hit balls, either one of them.
There's Martin on first. At the plate for the Hawks, number 2, Stefan Andropoulos.
Well, Stefan's got the threat. He's got some good wheels, so he could try and do a little drag bunt here. And
that one fouled off. That evens the count at 1-1. 1 out.
We haven't seen any other teams show a propensity for running yet. Certainly with Brody being a left-hander is obviously pretty intimidating looking right at him as far as making a move. Oh, there's another ball.
This one goes to the left field. That'll be caught. Martin holds at first. 2 outs now.
So the Hawks, the last 2 batters seem to be trying to deploy a little bit of a strategy to stay back on the pitch and swing a little later if they could. That's 3 balls in a row off left-handers hit the left field.
Liam Sutherland steps in to the batter's box, trying to keep this inning going for the Hawks. Takes that first pitch. It's a ball. 1-0. Ball 2.
At some levels of baseball, they have a pitch count for pitchers so you don't want to get them burnt out. But certainly that isn't an effect here. But I mean, still, there's a physicality of how many pitches you can throw in a certain game. And again, Brody's had to work pretty much every inning, I think, but the second. So his count's getting up there if there is such a thing for him, and I'm not sure where the coach would look at that.
The breeze is picking up a little bit here, Laurie. You've got a nice little gust of wind going now.
Yeah, it looks like it's blowing straight out to left right now. So anything in the air might be a bit of carry to it.
Here's a pop-up. This is in the infield. It looks like it's going to stay in. And that's it. That retires the Humber Hawks. Looks like both pitchers have settled into a nice groove here, Laurie. Yeah. And we've got a pretty good game going on here. The Hawks lead at 3-0 after 4 complete innings. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage of the 2017 Bel Air Direct OCAA Baseball Championships.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory. It's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to live action of the 2017 OCAA Baseball Championships here on WeTV. We just started the 5th inning, and Brandon Weir of the Lords just punched out a single to start this inning. So again, the Lords have been able to put runners on the base paths, Laurie, but they just haven't been able to bring them home.
Braden actually had a very nice at-bat last time and hit a pretty solid ball to the outfield. We got a nice touch out there in the left center field, single to start the inning. So let's see if the Lords can finally punch something across here. It's certainly been the MO of these teams to play close games, so I expect the Lords to get on the board at some time.
Spencer Edwards at the plate now for the Lords. Takes that ball low, 2-0 the count. Top of the 5th. Huff continues to pitch for the Hawks. He's been rock solid so far this morning. I guess we're in the afternoon now, right, Laurie? Yeah, we're just past the noon hour, so we started this morning, and we'll be here all day and night, actually.
Well, it's going to be a great day of ball, and again, a long day for these guys, too. But they're a little younger. I'm sure they're going to handle it very well.
Yes. That one in the dirt. 3-1 the count now.
This is an interesting call from the coaching standpoint because, again, you need some runners, and you want to take advantage of a pitch. He's going to come with a pitch for sure. He doesn't want to walk a runner and put runners on he doesn't need. But you want to make sure he keeps working the counts.
Fly ball left. This one's going deep. And nice hustling play out there. The Hawks left fielder making the play.
Spencer put a good lick on that one, but it just thought the wind would carry that too, as we were referring.
Take a look at that last play. Good hustle there
That was a good play out there because again, it's you know,
By Andrew Thompson.
You're not used to making plays out there, but you're looking up into the sun all of a sudden when you haven't seen much action. That's might have been his first play.
We saw that earlier, Laurie, where the sun may have affected a possible play there. Very bright, sunny day here.
There's another knock. Nice hit.
This one will fall in for a base hit. The Lords again have runners at first and second. Seen this a couple of times in the game, and they just haven't been able to get them around the base paths after. One out. Take another look at that. Good hit. Solid hit.
That's two singles about the same spot in the field by the Lords. To me, it looks like Stevens maybe just a little bit of velocity off in his fastball is allowing the Lords to get through the ball a little better and drive it a little better. So we'll see if he can ramp it up or adjust a bit to go to another pitch.
Connor May at the plate. And he punches out a hit. This may get the run in. They wave him in. Here's the throw to home. Under the tag. No, what do they call it? Out at home. An outstanding play by the right fielder, Brandon Costa.
That was a great play on every sense of the word. The runner made a great hustle to get to the plate, and Justin Mara again positioned himself perfectly, made a good catch on the ball and turn, and just it was a bang play again, and applied the tag. Thought he might have got a little bit of the path of the plate there, but that was a very key play. That would have been huge to get the Lords on the board and have a runner in scoring position with only one out on third.
Braden Weir thrown out at the plate. What a throw by Costa, though.
That was a gun.
Logan Stewart now will try to get the Lords on the scoreboard. He has runners at first and third.
Well, again,
2 outs.
Logan's been
1-0 is our count.
Logan's been consistently their best hitter over the years, so you can see how the infield shifted for Logan to pull. They pretty much just barely not all on the right side of the infield with the shortstop over right behind second base. So maybe Logan could slap one the other way if he gets a pitch that way. That was a good pitch again, outside corner.
Makes the count 2-1.
This is a key point, key at bat.
Fouled off.
It looks like the scouting report looks good. They're playing him as a dead pull hitter, and he certainly had wasn't get cheated on that swing, pulling that pitch.
Runners again at first and third for the Lords. They try to get on the scoreboard here. They were just denied at home plate. Stewart does a good job, just get the bat on the ball that time.
Yeah, that again, I thought Steven ramped that one up a bit. That seemed to have a little more velocity than some of his last pitches. But he finished Logan off in his last at bat with a combo of change up and a curveball. So we'll see after showing him that fastball if he goes to that formula again.
That pitch gets by the catcher, and the Lords get on the scoreboard. A pass ball, and Durham takes advantage of it as crossing the plate is Brian Woke. That makes it 3-1 in favor of Humber.
That's a huge run, Again, Steven looked like he just overthrew that ball a bit and trying to keep the ball down. And now Durham's got another chance. If Logan can touch some green out there and plate that other run, we've got a great ball game finish coming up.
Runner from first advances to second.
There, did it, got him
Great
again.
pitch by Huff as he pumps it at the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, he's a little bit disappointed that he
disappointed, but
gave up that one run. Yeah, that was just a little mechanical mistake, overthrowing a bit. But Durham finally cracks the board, and that would have been a heck of a finish to get that other run. That would have been a great play at the plate.
This is what the final standings look like this year in the OCAA men's baseball loop. St. Clair did win the pennant, 14-4. They played 2 less games. There was a cancellation, and the game that they were going to play had no effects on the standings or anything, so St. Clair was awarded first place even though they played fewer games. Humber right behind them, though. Again, you could even say it was maybe even a tie. The Durham Lords, 13-7, but again, coming into these championships, Laurie, as we talked about, 8-2, one of the hotter teams in the OCAA men's baseball loop. Fanshawe comes in at 11-9, and then you have George Brown and Seneca rounding out the standings. But obviously, we have the 4 best teams here, Laurie. There's no question about it, and I think the parity in this league this year has been outstanding. So it's whoever comes in and gets hot, I guess, the next couple of days is going to give themselves a real strong chance of taking away an OCAA baseball title.
Yeah, again, in the head-to-head between the top 4 teams, they were pretty evenly matched. Many of the series went 2 games apiece of the 4 games they played over the course of the year. So, yeah, it's again, it's still a 1-game shot as we see that Durham's made a pitching change now. We've got Alec Brown coming in to pitch. And again, Alec fashioned a shutout against Humber earlier in the year, and he earlier made a very outstanding pickup at first base.
That's Brody Harkness still on the mound.
I'm sorry, 21. I apologize. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Yep.
I was looking and saying, boy, that looks like Brody, and you know these guys better than I do. But
well, I looked up the numbers.
Brody has come back out. He's done a good job after the first inning. Actually, he's settled down. He's given Durham a chance to stay in it. Bottom of the 5th set to go here as the Hawks look to increase their lead here, up 3-1. Stepping up to the plate, Keegan Murphy, number 23. Good to see that he's back, as he looks like he was shaken up earlier in the game, his wrist area, but good to see Keegan back at the plate here. Solid contact there, and again, booted out in center field. Again, I'm wondering if that sun maybe is really affecting the...
I think that might have been more the wind than anything, Tom. I think it was just that ball just carried a little bit more at the last minute than the outfielder was planning on.
There's a look at it.
Yeah, it just sort of sailed on him at the last minute, it looked like, but it was still a play he should have made. So it's got the Hawks in business again, and
yes, indeed. Here's a pop-up. Looks like it's going to stay inside the park here, and doesn't make it. Not caught. That's just got to make you pull your hair out a little bit.
Well,
Laurie.
from Durham's standpoint, unfortunately, that was very poor communication. There, we had 3 players right there, and I didn't hear anybody taking charge or calling for the ball, and someone should have at least made an attempt. I thought maybe first baseman Alec had the best shot at that coming in from the angle that he did, but again, that's a lost opportunity, and with good hitters, you don't want to give them extra strikes.
Grounder for a single, as that ends up out in right field. Humber with runners at first and second now.
It's like in the hockey scenario, bad penalties are always tough to defend, and when you lose an out like that, you hope it doesn't come back and haunt you.
No outs. Hawks with runners at first and second. Up at the plate now, Dennis DeBanning. He makes solid contact. Good play at second, and the ball is misthrown. And coming home for the Hawks and scoring. Throw to third here, and did he hold on to the ball? We're still awaiting the call, and yes, we get the call. He's out. We have an injured Durham Lord player, but all kinds of action going on. But great hustle there by Keegan Murphy, number 23, to come in and score for the Hawks.
Ryan Basball got an awkward spot there on the return throw from Weir, and he extended to tag the runner and put his hand right over the front of the base. I'm sure he got spiked in the hand, so hopefully he'll be okay. But it was a bang-bang decision, but he certainly put himself at risk. So looks okay, and fortunately made the play. Ump doing a little housekeeping on his back there. Nice to see.
Good stuff. But the
But that was again a good opportunity. Logan Stewart, he's having a tough day at second, and that was a great opportunity to turn two and just overthrew the ball a bit, trying to hustle it to maybe get a better chance at first base. So those errors are hurting Durham a lot in this game and giving the Hawks way too many opportunities.
absolutely. That makes the score 4-1 now for the Hawks. 1 out.
And it really hurts they just gave that run back that they worked so hard to claw back at the top of the inning. So
Runners at first. Soft hit. And again, another throwing error here. That'll get the runners to move to second and third. They're waving in. Costa, he comes in, scores all the way from first base on a poorly thrown ball. Humber taking advantage of the mistakes the Lords are making.
that was Brody fielded that well and wanted to go to second, and it's almost like he broke his concentration once he decided he had to go to first and didn't make a good throw that way. So that's a shame, and I put Alec in a pretty tough spot where he got banged up a little there as well. But
actually,
again,
it was Banning that came in and scored. As he hustled, did a great job. Here's the throw, and not handled well, and 5-1 now for the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, Durham's got to feel a little deflated because they've really hurt themselves. They've got, it's one thing when you get beat, when you're beating yourself, that's harder to swallow. Well, there's still time left here, and they've shown that Stephen Huff isn't unhittable, so they can put some opportunities out there for him. But they got to get out of this one. They're still.
Yeah, there's just one out here right now, Laurie, and we have a man at third base for the Hawks. That is Andrew Thompson standing at third base. And coming up to the plate for the Hawks is number 11, Brandon Costa, who made a great play in the outfield.
Yeah, that was a missile he threw from right field and was a key play in this game for sure.
Fouls the first pitch off. Strike one.
This would be a perfect place for a little bit of a squeeze play or a safety squeeze, because there's only one out. They could sacrifice an out for the run to get it in, but the infield's in, so maybe not the best opportunity. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he was thinking about it. He was trying it.
You called it, Laurie.
Well,
you know this stuff a little.
Well, it's it just logistically, again, you wouldn't necessarily want to give up those outs, but when you've got a 4-run lead and you've got a runner down there with the infield in, it's a little harder to do, but that was a safety squeeze because the runner wasn't coming automatically.
Harkness deals, and that gets right through the middle there. That'll make it 6-1 Humber.
That was a really, really good at bat and a nice cash by Mr. Costa. He didn't try to do too much with the pitch. He just put it in play and found the hole, and that's the danger with the infield in. You can find a hole like that.
As Costa has had a very good game here today, Laurie. Out in the outfield and at the plate. Another hit. This one right up the middle one more time, and we'll call that an infield single. We'll see how they score it.
I would think
that was a tough play.
Yeah, I would think that would be a single for sure, yeah.
So again, Humber really pouring it on now. Runners at first and second. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. They now have a 6-1 lead as well. See that one slowly getting out to the outfield.
Max Elvison's had a good all-around game for the Hawks today too.
Ty Martin at the plate now. Takes strike one.
I have a baseball theory that when you're a batter and your team's behind, if you're about a 300 hitter, all of a sudden you become a 200 hitter because you're trying to do too much, and vice versa. If your team's in a favorable position as the Hawks are now, then 200 hitters seem to get better pitches to hit, and their batting averages usually go up too. So the Hawks have put themselves in a great position to get good pitches to hit now. That was a good pitch by Brody, and got himself an out.
Brody needed that big time, Laurie.
Yeah.
Hawks have hit him pretty hard this inning. Stephen Andropoulos up to the plate. Takes a strike one. Runners at first and second. 2 outs now.
Steven's a contact hitter with good wheels, so he's going to try and put this ball in play. And
Chopper. That'll get the Lords out of the inning, but the damage is done. 3 runs in the bottom half of the 5th. A couple of men left on base. As we go to the top of the 6th, the Humber Hawks lead it 6-1 over the Durham Lords. More OCA baseball action right after these words.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Leading off the top of the 6th for the Durham Lords, the third baseman, number 16, Ryan Bockwell.
Welcome back to the OCA Baseball Championships here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with Laurie Cahill. We go to the top of the 6th of the first game of 6 here at the championships, possibly 7. The Lords down by 5, 6-1.
Ryan Bothwell, third baseman. Looks like Ryan's okay after getting, looked like he got nicked with a spike there at third base on a close play. He made a good play to tag the runner out, which was a key play in cutting down the inning.
Huff continues on the hill.
Ryan's had some really good swings against Stephen, so let's see if he can, again, get the Lords started here. And
Chopper to the shortstop. That's handled nicely. Again, a high throw, though. We saw that earlier in the game. He's got to tone it down there, Laurie.
Yeah, that's pretty uncharacteristic, I think, of Keegan. And maybe that hand still bothered him from that play at the plate.
Maybe.
I mean, on the first one, I think he just rushed it because he saw the runner was had a little more hop than he thought getting down the line. But on that play, he had lots of time, and maybe that hand just hasn't quite right still for him yet. What a break again for the Lords. They got a guy on to start the inning, and again, they made contact off Stephen. So.
Yep. This is Alec Brown at the plate now for the Lords. Takes a ball, 1.
I think Alec had a knock last time at bat. There's another ball. Oh, nice play.
Nice
oh,
they get the one.
What a brilliant play! Brilliant play. Those are things that only good players take the time to work on. The ball never left his glove. He flipped it with his glove. You can see a big show and almost turned the deuce. That would have been spectacular. It still was a spectacular force out because that certainly looked like it had potential to get the Lords cooking in that inning.
1 out. Man on first. Huff delivers.
That's going to be a tough chance.
Topper. Barehanded pickup. What an out.
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's become the Keegan Murphy show out there, Laurie.
That was 2 brilliant plays in a row. If there was any question about his throwing hand, I think he answered them. Although the first place was glove, but yeah, this
was barehanded.
With his weight transferred again to put that much on the throw, going over there to nip the runner at first, that was a really brilliant play.
So 2 great plays there by Keegan Murphy. Helps the Humber cause. The designated hitter, Eric Bahari, up to the plate. He has a runner at second. Try to get him in.
Let's see if Eric sits on a breaking ball here. Yeah, I think he was a little bit behind. I think he was looking for a breaking ball on that pitch because that was a sequence Stephen used to run last time. It would really be nice for the Lords to get the cash in with your DH at the plate.
Huff delivers. Bahari falls that one off right into the Humber almost dugout. Thank goodness for those enclosed dugouts.
Well, he's thrown him 2 fastballs, and he's been behind on both of them, so I wouldn't expect Stephen to change the pace on anything. Although he did.
In the dirt.
Oh, he did.
That makes the count 1-2.
Outfield shaded to right. The wind's blowing straight out almost now.
Bahari again.
Interesting pitch sequence by Stephen and Justin, but Eric can't seem to get around on that fastball, so last time Stephen finished him off on the outside part of the plate, so we'll see if he tries to get outside on that corner and gives Eric something to think about out there. Whoa.
Time called just before the pitch.
That was kind of interesting.
That was.
It was
1-2 our count.
By my standards, that would be a pretty late reprieve from the governor.
Bahari has had a good at bat here, though, getting the bat on the ball, hanging in there, Laurie.
Yep.
It's made Huff throw a lot of pitches here. Another timeout called.
It might have been just a little bit of gamesmanship there, but that's okay. That was a late call for the first time, but let's see what they serve up to Eric on this count.
Third base, easy play, long throw, right on the mark.
Yeah.
That ends the inning.
Solid play by Ty Martin there. Set himself and made a great throw over to first.
So the Humber Hawks continue to lead after 5.5. Of course, each and every week here on WeTV, you can check out the question of the week with Brittany Webster. A new question every Monday for our viewers. She has all the best questions, all the topical stuff. Check out the question of the week with Brittany Webster here on we-tv.ca. I think she's got a Halloween question for next week, something pertaining to Halloween. So
well,
very timely, I guess, right?
Well, it would be the perfect time of the year to start thinking about that. Certainly, a lot of people certainly get in the spirit of Halloween with costumes and
she does a great
parties.
job and got a nice following with the question of the week. So check it out every Monday with Brittany.
Excellent.
We have a new pitcher now for the Durham Lords for sure. Looks like we have number 19, Jake Story, has taken the hill for the Lords. right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, Jake pitched 8 innings this season for the Lords. He had a 1-0 one-loss record and registered 3 strikeouts in that process. So hadn't give up a run in the 8 innings that he pitched. So hopefully he'll be able to hold the Hawks down here. Again, probably a good move by Coach Dempster to save Brody, because again they've got to use him again somewhere down the low now. And
the Hawks looking really good right now, though, as they have a commanding 5-run lead going into the bottom of the 6th here. So the Lords just with one more crack at the plate to try to get on even terms. And the way Huff's pitching, I'm guessing we'll see Huff out in the 7th, Laurie. He's been pretty solid. No reason to, I think, go to the bullpen yet there, but...
well, Jake's going to have his work cut out, because he got the top of the lineup and OCAA Player of the Year, Liam Sutherland, starting it off for the for the Hawks, sorry. And
leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Humber Hawks, center fielder number 27, Liam Sutherland.
That pitch goes high for a ball. That evens up the count at 1-1.
it's a good look from the center field camera there. I think that's really important that pitchers and catchers try to work both sides of the plate and establish some control out there. And
3-1 our count now.
These hitters are pretty knowledgeable, and again, these people are no strangers after playing 4 games against each other in the course of the year. Good comeback by Jake.
Full count.
Jake seems pretty committed just to put it there and let them see what they're going to do.
And Story does a good job there coming back in that count, and gets the strikeout.
I think I might have chased that pitch a little bit. That was a little bit up and out, but anyway, it was a good pitch by Jake and a good way to start the inning for him, especially with the talent of Keegan Murphy coming up the plate.
Number 23, Keegan Murphy.
So Jake Story off to a good start in relief. Doesn't take much time between pitches, Laurie.
No, it doesn't seem like that.
He just gets up and deals. That pitch high, ball 1. Keegan Murphy, who put on a display earlier out in the infield.
Yeah, that was 2 defensive gems in the last inning, that's for sure.
2-0.
He certainly was a strong candidate for Player of the Year, getting edged out by his teammate, Liam.
Well, maybe player of the game here. The count. That gets over the plate for a strike.
Well,
as Murphy takes all the way on that pitch.
good job.
Story gets himself right back into the count, 3-2.
Yep. Again, you don't want to put any more runners on base. You want to have an efficient inning to get your team back to the plate, so hopefully they'll be able to accomplish that.
Full count pitch here. Murphy gets a bat on it. That drops in behind the first baseman, and Murphy easily into first. 1 out, coming to the plate.
Yeah, that was the perfect storm out there.
Justin Mara, number 25.
Humber's had a number of those balls fall in like that, but they've had just as many balls they've hit really hard. So again,
Mara has had a pretty good game behind the plate today.
They made a great play, Acosta's tag on that key play at putting out the Durham runner at the plate.
Pops out this time. Second out of the inning. Murphy remains at first.
We can look outside
The hitter, number 19, Basball.
outside the left center field fence, and we see the Fanshawe Falcons out there warming up, getting ready for their next game with the hometown St. Clair Saints, coming up at 1:30.
Dennis Banning at the plate now. I want to give a shout out to a very good friend of mine, a good friend of certainly WeTV, and works extremely hard at the St. Clair College Athletic Department. He's on the mend, and we're all thinking about him, but a quick shout out to Chico LaBute. Just an outstanding individual, works so hard, and he's another reason why WeTV is here, that's for sure. And Chico, keep getting well.
All the best, Chico. That was the first time we've seen somebody put a runner in motion, which is interesting at this stage of the game.
Nice pitch there from Story. That makes the count 1-2. 2 outs.
And Dennis had the key hit in the start of the game, first inning.
Yeah.
Big two-run double. It got off the Hawks off front running.
That one outside.
It's interesting that he's. Yeah, Jake needs to maybe pay just a little bit more attention to the guy at first.
That'll even the count, or I should say full count now, 3-2.
Well, the backfield will be in motion here, so wow, that was a quick pitch.
There goes Murphy, and
that was pretty close to.
Yep. Banning manages to get the bat on the ball, knocking it foul. Bottom of the 6th. Humber has led right from the get-go. That one in the dirt. That'll move the runners to first and second. Coming to the plate,
Left fielder, number 6.
the left fielder, Andrew Thompson.
Well, Jake's got to bear down here and focus on the runner. There's no real threat to have anybody try and steal from here, so he's really got to just slow down a bit. He was a little quick on those last few deliveries to Dennis.
Ball 1.
Okay.
Solid hit, snagged as that was hit on a rope.
Yep.
Durham stops the hits, and they'll come up for their final wraps, or what they hope is not their final wraps anyways, but after 6 complete innings, it's the Humber Hawks 6, the Durham Lords 1. A timeout. When we return, we continue our coverage of the 2017 Bel Air Direct OCAA Baseball Championships.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
I learn by doing. I learn by reacting to a situation. St. Clair puts me directly into my industry. I'm dealing with real patients, real life situations. It's not just theory, it's not book work anymore.
I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
Top of the 7th inning set to go here at Lacoste Park, the OCAA Baseball Championships on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with the legendary voice, Laurie Cahill. Number 24 of the Durham Lords, Brandon Weir at the plate. First pitch, third base, scooped up. Textbook baseball there, Laurie.
Yeah, I think that was the third inning that Braden's led off, and he's had a knock the last time up that got the Lords started, but again, solid play down there at third base. Ty Martin to set himself and make a strong throw over.
That evens the count at 1-1.
We got left fielder Spencer Edwards now up at the plate. Down their last 2 outs. Stephen's still showing all his pitches and doing an excellent job. A lot of credit to Justin Mara for calling the game. And I think that's I think that was the correct call. I did think he broke the plane there, so it's it's certainly a again Stephen's showing all his pitches and fooling Spencer with that last one for the K. So Durham's down their final out now, and it's time for some 2-out magic if the Lords can muster it. Again, Stephen's not wasting any time. A tremendous efficiency, pounding the strike zone, and looking to close this out.
Yeah, Huff has been very solid, very consistent. He's given up the hit here and there, but never panicked, Laurie. Just has kept that focus, and he's just been very, very effective here in this first game.
That was a good spoil by Brian there. Yeah, Stephen, the one chance that he had, if there was he had a chance to sort of show a crack, was on that wild pitch that scored Durham's only run, but he refocused and got Logan Stewart on a nice strikeout to finish that inning. Another great spoil.
Fouled off. Brian Woke trying to get something going for the Lords as they're down to their last out here. Martin at third. This could be the game, and indeed it is. The Humber Hawks come out swinging in Game 1 of the OCAA Baseball Championships. A very solid, complete victory here, Laurie. They defeat the Durham Lords 6-1.
I think certainly Humber was full value for their effort, both offensively and defensively, with certainly Keegan making some spectacular plays, as others did, and the strong throw by Costa at the plate was a huge play in the game. But Durham will walk away from this feeling a little empty, that they hurt themselves so badly with the errors that they made and some of the misplays that led to the difference in the biggest difference in the game. But certainly, again, Humber full value and deserved the win right from the pitching to the hitting.
You have Huff coming out pitching that first game, Laurie. You know this Humber team pretty well. Do they have the depth in their pitching core? Are there others like Huff that can pick up where he left off in Game 2, which will be later on this afternoon?
Well, certainly. I mean, Huff is the main starter there, but they've got many other pitchers who had excellent years for them. Matt Stoddard was 3-0 for the year with under almost a 1.0 ERA. So I mean, they've got the arms to go the distance here for sure. And again, if their offense continues to click, as you alluded, that the St. Clair coach mentioned earlier, that I think looking at what we've seen so far, they're probably the team to beat.
Well, St. Clair may have something to say about that, Laurie, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying. We're going to get the announcement of the players of the game, and we will follow this ceremony. The player of the game for the Durham Lords is going to be number 16, Ryan Bothwell. Congratulations to Ryan. receives the honor for player of the game
And for the Humber
from
Hawks,
Ken Babcock,
the pitcher number
the
13,
convener for
Stephen
OCA
Huff.
Baseball. The player of the game for the Humber Hawks, guy I've been talking about all game, Stephen Huff, is the player of the game for the Humber Hawks, as he was solid right from start to finish. So congratulations to Stephen and Ryan, players of the game.
Yep.
Our next broadcast, we'll be back here,
Playoff
I'd say about
is
40 minutes or
scheduled
so
for
from now.
1:30.
We're going to give the crew a little bit of a break, but at 1:30 we'll have the first pitch. It'll be the Fanshawe Falcons to take on the St. Clair College Saints. And again, that'll be at 1:30. So our score here for the first game is the Humber Hawks 6, the Durham Lords 1. On behalf of my partner, Laurie Cahill, the hard-working crew here at WeTV, this is Dominic Clapper wishing you a great day. Come on back shortly, and we'll have more great OCA baseball action for you. Take care, everybody.